All right, what is up, everyone? Back for another one. So, been a little busy, but we did finish up our tube front here. One thing I noticed is this bar here had a different bend angle than this side, and we don't have a tube notcher, so we kind of just went with it. So the bar does sit a little lower on this plate than this one, but everything is all welded in now. We just got to do some more grinding, and I haven't pulled everything out of the bay yet. So I'm gonna do that now. We'll jump over to it all stripped down, and then we can work to getting our tubs cut and start mocking them up and making a template to trim it to the angle of the shock tower. So I'll show you how to do that. Have a bit of stuff to get out, brackets here, all harness and everything here, brake booster. So a couple hours of work, maybe an hour or two, get this stripped out and then start cleaning everything up. All right, so now we got out most of our peripherals here, just have a couple hard lines left that when we take off all of our suspension, we can get rid of those. We do have a new chase base set up to replace all the lines. I think it ends at this little block down here, but I do have to check with what I ordered to see if it goes all the way to the back of the car or if it just junctions off here. But then you still have to pull the subframe, suspension, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when we can really start cleaning this all up and getting ready for everything. All right, and now everything's about out. Just have 2 fuel ends here, battery cable, throttle cable, but the rest is all out. And then in the previous video, kind of showed you this crack here in the strut tower. So we do have to fix that when we do strip this all down. Still have to grind everything, check for any more breakage in the chassis, because I know down here I do want to put this back together. It's not really bad there. There's that crack on the inside, and I'm not sure if this is just the sealant, but there may potentially be a crack right here as well. So gonna try to start stripping all of this and just make some quick repairs, grind it back flat, and then we can get ready for our tubs. All right, and now we have our trailer tub over here. So it's pretty symmetrical. This side's a little bit more flat. This is more radius. So you do want to note that when you're selecting what side you want. But we're just going to start by cutting this in half, and then we can start making our template to mock it up to fit the strut tower as well. All right, so we kind of rigged up the tub here. So kind of where you figure you want it. I'm just going to make it even with the tower here. It is going to overhang on the strut tower, maybe an inch or so. But now we're going to take these and show you how to make a quick template. So I will set this up on the tripod, and it's pretty simple. We're going to basically touch the area here at our minimum distance wherever you start marking it. You can mark on the TIG rod, you can use a ruler, whatever, and as we work our way down, the marker is basically going to lay out the exact template like so. See where I'm holding now. You essentially have a straight line here, and then as you go forward, the marker moves with the rod, and it will basically just make the exact shape of what you're messing with. All right, so we made our initial mark on our rod here, so that's going to be our starting point. So let me know where to start on here. So we'll make a mark here. And you could do this while dragging the rod too, but if you don't have steady hands, it may not work out the best. But this is going to be close enough shape to get you cutting it. And then from here, it's basically going to be a straight. So we'll mark it to the end here, and then we will attach our 2 marks from here to here with a straight edge. And then we can cut this with our saw and then this should mesh right up with the tower. All right, so we just finished kind of cutting our general shape. So it's going to be probably a little rough on the first go, but we'll just rig this up and see how it fits. So you can see how we got it pretty close there, and then obviously the plate thickness kind of offset this a little bit, but for where it's at, we can fill this up with weld if we don't really care too much and grind it back flat, and it'll be good like that. So we'll have to rig this up. I do want to put a new base plate on the end here where we cut the upper frame rail, and then we could start putting this guy in, and then we'll just repeat for the other side. It's pretty simple overall. Clean up your metal, weld it, and get strip the rest of the bay and get that ready for primer. Now here's our little base plate. We kind of followed the contour of this. We just have to weld this on, bang it to flatten it out. Once we tack it in a couple spots, either tack it here, bang it this way, or vice versa. Doesn't really matter which way you go about it, as long as you try to make this as planted as possible and get as many weld points. So we're gonna have to weld it on the outside, grind it down, and we're gonna go on the back side and then see if there's any other extra spots that we can weld down there, like in this little corner here, just to attach these all back together. All right, so now we got our other side on here too. Just kind of put another plate over here, so I have to grind all that down. Same with over here a little bit. I tagged most of this here, and then like this little inside part, I MIG, grind them back down, TIG back over it all. So it's just a lot of little dress up here and there, and then just like grinding down all the paint and everything. So when we do seal this, it's gonna be fine. So I do still need to make side plates here and here, obviously, and then that should seal off most of the bay. I don't know if I'm gonna put flat plates on the bottom here to kind of cap that. And then I also did fix this crack from earlier on both sides. That's mostly grounded, but I need to get some more sanding discs. But yeah, coming along like that. Should be done relatively soon. And then we can start making like fender brackets, headlight brackets, and all that. And not sure what we're gonna do for a radiator and intercooler mount yet, because I do kind of want to go V-mount, but then that's just gonna take the engine being in there, obviously, to mock up all the piping. So we just don't know where the mounts will go overall. So we don't know if maybe I should make some universal tabs, weld on either end, and then we could build off that for whenever we decide what we're doing. All right, so here's what our side plates are gonna look like. So you just kind of put up some flat plate, mark it from the inside, and then you get your general shape, and you can rig it up with the magnets. And now we're just gonna weld around it. And when we get to the top part, we'll just kind of hammer that in, hammer it to the strut tower, and see how well that goes. And then it's gonna be the same for the other side. So I'm gonna get this all welded in. We're just gonna use the MIG, grind it down, make it all flat. So it doesn't really matter how it looks when you weld it. I might TIG it. It's pretty good gap. So yeah, whatever I do, I'll show a quick before and after. All right, so now we got our side plate in here, welded out most right here, most of this. Still have to do most of the bottom, and then this little corner here, I have to make like a little cap piece because there is that gap. So I'm gonna grind all that out, finish that side up, and then we can go over to cutting in this side. So I'll show you how to do that, and pretty simple. Just put the flat metal up to the side here, go back on the inside, and just take a marker and trace it out. Really easy. So yeah, get this all set and cut over to hopefully it finished. All right, here's most of it grinded. Still have to go over all those little bits and maybe add a little bit more weld, but the little gap at the top is filled. There's a couple little pits from grinding. It gets a little thin there, so just have to keep adding weld on top. So now we will get over to making the template for this side. So we'll show you how to do that and cut this out, get this started to weld in. That way you guys get the base idea and get another video out, because we've been slacking on this one because this whole thing took a lot longer than we had initially anticipated. Few bars doesn't seem like a lot, and some tubs to weld on, but yeah, it takes quite a bit. All right, so you rig up your sheet metal, put a little magnet there. If you can get it on the lip on the inside, it will save you another cut, but I couldn't rig it up for this demonstration. So we're just gonna have to make another cut line at the bottom here. And it's simple as just tracing this out.
And then up for this corner, you can kind of do it how you want. You can eyeball the shape there, and then you're gonna have to extrapolate it outwards. But yeah, it's pretty much
simple as that. Pop it off, cut on the outside of your Sharpie line, because if you cut on the inside, you're gonna come up a little short. So you can see, like, obviously the edge here is on the outside of the line here. So yep, simple stuff. Pop the sheet metal off, cut it, and pop it on and just start welding. Alright, so here's our general shape. Got it all cut out. We'll see how it fits and start welding it up.
Alright, here's a general mock-up. Probably going to tack it up here, then tilt it down, tack this corner, then I can work out all the rest. But pretty good fitment for just a quick Sharpie mark and cutting out with the saw and just rough grinding, because the weld will fill up most of any small imperfections as well.
Alright, so that's going to be the general gist of welding it up. You could either stitch weld it all up, go in the whole way. Now we're just going to heat this with the oxy torch, bend it in with the hammer, make our filler piece, and do the same as this side. So we'll just leave that off so it's not too repetitive of doing the same thing. Finish off here, and next time we'll come back, we'll be all done with all the welding here. We can get to stripping it, painting the bay. Still have to make our fender mounts coming off the side, headlight mounts, all that. But as far as this, we'll make it a part 2, 3, whatever you want to call it, as part of the whole fabrication of the front end. So yep, catch you guys in the next one.